All right. I hope we have audio. Can you hear me?
We'll let you know in just a minute, buddy.
Yep. All right. Well, I heard myself, so I'm hoping you can hear yourself. So, are we good? Please tell me we are good.
We're always good.
Okay. It is Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central American Time here at Grumpy B Gaming, where we do the podcast every Wednesday. I won't go over the normal spiel. Hit the like button or don't. At this point, I just don't care. Leave a comment if you can. And as always, be sure to tell your friends to share it around. All right, Corvo, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a pretty good week so far.
Okay, gotcha. I have shaved my beard down to close to yours. I felt like I was getting smothered at night with my beard because I was literally able to puff my beard up and cover my face and my nose with it. So getting tired of sleeping with it and like waking up and all I feel is a bunch of hair in my face.
So what you're saying is we have a little bit more sleeker, aerodynamic Grumpy.
Yeah, my wife said you look the same, just younger. I don't know if I like that. I went, what's that mean?
No coke for you, fool.
You look too young. I'm like, she doesn't want me to shave my face ever because she always told me if I shave my face down to bare skin, I would look too young, and she told me she would divorce me because of it. I don't know how to feel about that. I just know I've always had pretty much a young face, but I don't think I would look like a teenager over again.
I mean, it can't be any younger than your head. It's never gotten any hair.
Oh man. I literally saw a balding commercial the other day, and the dude was like completely bald. I mean, like he didn't even have hair on the side of the head. I do, but you know, I'd shave it down because there's no reason for it. But he was completely bald, and I'm like, if you tell me I go from completely bald to full head of hair again tomorrow, I will be on it now. Like, there's just no way I would say no to it. I would just like, yep, sure, go for it. Chemicals, everything. Let's go hold, Dr. Seuss on my head and just start pouring and see what comes out of it. Green eggs and hams. I don't care. just to give me some, something back up the middle. The sides are fine, just down the middle. But yeah. But of course, there's also people like, that take your hair from the back of your head and then like move it slowly, move it up to the front of your head. But then like some of your back of your head gets a little bit of balding because like they're pulling hairs, roots and all out of your back of your head and putting it in the front, and then they slowly start doing forward. But I've also seen people literally like cut parts of their skin and then like pull it forward and then this a little bit back and then staple it and then let it cure that way. I'm like, that looks like so much pain.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. If I go bald, I'm just going to be bald. Period. There's not going to be no lasering, no stitching, no poking. Fuck that. That's my head, bro. No. Not happening.
I love my family members, but there's one of them, if you ever watch this podcast, that he's literally doing a comb over. I'm like, bro, just go at it. Just get rid of it. It's
just
not
be done.
It's not coming back, and it's not gonna always. It's like it just time to go for it. We've all accepted our fates in my family, except for him. And we all look pretty good with that hair. Not amazing, pretty good with that hair. Little rock going on here, but just get rid of the comb over. I'm just
your Snape wig.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Snape wig if you want to borrow it for a day or two, make you feel like you got something for a little while.
Oh no, people will be wondering like, what's going on? Black hair, blonde eyebrows, brownish red
and
beard.
That's any different than normal? How?
This is brown, okay? This would be brown.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
I would literally be a snake because I'm more like a chameleon because I have so many different colors going on.
No, dude, I'm prepared for the eventuality of losing my hair. You see this? I have a wig. This Professor Snape, they look like this. So I'm ready.
Yeah, come here. Let me see. I just bought my wife a birthday gift, and this is what she wanted.
Okay.
It's a fugly. That's what it's called. Fugly.
Ugly. Yeah.
So a fugler. So when I say fugler, what does that stand for?
Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Fucking ugly. Fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
It came with an adoption.
And it came with the adoption certificate, as if that's really important. But you know, it makes her feel good about herself, and yeah, she's been one of these for a while, so she thinks it's adorable.
They are.
It is. It's adorable.
Why does women think that's adorable?
Cute.
Explain it to me. Explain it to me, Celtic. 'Cause I don't get it. I don't get it.
What?
I don't get it.
Adorable.
Okay.
I get enough.
It's adorable because it's small and cuddly. It's all it's gotta be. It's small, cuddly, with big eyes. And fluffy.
Bad.
But its teeth are.
Okay, can it actually hurt you?
No, but it's
That's
human.
the whole point.
It's
It
human
thinks
teeth.
It can. But it thinks it can. And that just makes it adorable because it's like, aw, you think you can hurt me, but you can't.
Stop doing that.
Sorry.
You're cute.
I'm fingering its mouth. All right.
It'd be like this little itty bitty dog coming at you with its teeth snarled when it doesn't have any teeth, snarling at you, and you go like, "Oh, you're cute. You think you can do something? You can't do shit. Come here, let me cuddle you." Arrgh!
I wouldn't bite you. You're trying. Good try. But yeah.
No, he had a dog like that.
Yes, I did. We had a poodle
A poodle.
that had lost a black poodle. He had lost all his teeth.
Mhm.
He was on a strictly pate or liquid diet. But I will tell you this. If you happen to forget that little shit didn't have teeth, he would make you jump even without them. Because he was quick, and he snapped, and he growled, but on the days that you're looking at him face on, and he's snarling at you with nothing but gums, it is kind of adorable.
Like, he's just like, nothing's happening here. What am I feeling? I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
Oh, I put my foot down one day. Forgot he was under my chair. He came out and started gumming my feet, and the yank back was intense. Because it feels so weird to have something just gumming your toes.
Fuck them toes up. Get me them toes.
At least it wasn't out of anger, though.
Hey, but we know he was my dog because he damn sure went for some digits to nom on.
Yeah, and my brain is going immediately going to peanut butter and going to no teeth and is going.
I've done that too. I did. It was funny as shit. He run around the house for like an hour. I'm like, Lucky, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's the same thing when we try to give our old English some noodles, some pasta or whatever, and he's going for it. He's like, it's so fucking funny to see him try to eat it. But yeah, it's poor thing. My pug is losing a lot of his teeth, so he'll probably soon be that way. But problem is, he doesn't growl or bite at anybody. He just wags his tail. And when it's food time, he's excited as shit.
Yeah.
All right, so I have got some of my videos done for the resin printer. I'm printing 3 of my things. So how's your printer going?
All right, so here we go. The tale of the traveling part.
Traveling tales.
So on the last we spoke, it had made it from China to Berlin, Germany.
To Germany?
Yes, it went to Germany.
It went the opposite way.
No, it went from China on the other side of China to Berlin, Germany, heading towards the States.
Isn't that further away? I don't
No.
know the globe, but I'm
No, it was traveling the right direction. It's just it had to cross all of Asia to get to Germany.
I honestly thought it would go from China over to either over Japan, or at least up to Alaska, Japan, and then down to the States. But I guess it's faster.
it went to Berlin and then went from Berlin to Queens, New York.
Okay. I've had things.
And then from Queens, New York, it went all the way to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And has went from Atlanta, which, get this makes no fucking sense. It went to Atlanta, all the way to Tallahassee, Florida, which is below us, to come back up to me to either tomorrow or probably the day after, one of the two.
I've only had packages like come to my state and then leave my state before. And it was like, it went from like Birmingham back to Georgia, then to me. I'm like, that don't make no sense. Are you driving it to me? Does somebody like decide to go, fuck that, we ain't delivering it, and just send it back? I was so confused. It took like two extra more days because of that. But
Yep.
maybe
So,
that's
yeah,
more place close to you.
my part is literally 45 minutes away from me, and I still have to wait at least a day or two for it to get here because it went past me to come back.
Okay, so while that was going, you discovered some, I guess you would say, almost a neat little trick to resin printing in general. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, would you, before we go forward, would you advise it? Would you recommend it?
So here's what I would do. I probably would change what's giving off the heat so that it's a little more controlled.
Okay, so talk about the heat thing here, because
Okay, so in past prints I've had, due to various different mistakes of people leaving something in their pocket or whatever, before I got my current curing chamber, I would cure it like most people would under like a handheld light or one of those tubular black lights,
mm-hmm.
and it works fine. You can hold it, you can play with it. It's solid, but I didn't realize how I guess less durable it was doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we left one in the pocket and melted into a puddle in the dryer.
Okay.
Now, this print that I'm about to show you was cleaned in my cleaner first,
Mm-hmm.
and cured in that curing chamber that I did the video on for 2 5-minute bursts. And this thing miraculously went through not one, but 2 clothes drying cycles in a home dryer. And as you can see, she's still kicking. No puddle. Got a little fringing around the edges, but that's where it had a layer where it stuck to the bed.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know that's a bad thing because it's just flaking off and it's making it more profiled.
Mm-hmm.
And as Grumpy pointed out, it's a little more yellow than it was originally. So the heat did something with the pigment that actually enhanced the hue of the color.
I wonder, just by heat index, I wonder if I wouldn't say necessarily the word burn, but I'm sure heating an object does give it some of a burnt hue, and maybe it burnt the color a little bit to make it a little bit more darker.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm really not. But I do know that, for instance, you remember when you printed the ones for Ethan?
Yeah.
Right? A couple of them, when they got here, had warped a little bit. Just from the heat out there, traveling.
Mm-hmm.
This thing just went through a drying cycle twice. No warpage. So, only thing I can figure is A, I made sure it was really clean, and B, I had an actual curing chamber that was designed to hit it with ultraviolets from every direction evenly for the period of time you have it set for. And most people, and Grumpy, I think you can back me up on this. When you read the stuff about curing, they say 3 to 5 minutes, usually under a good light, gets it pretty cured.
Yeah.
But me being me and having kids, I ran this through 2 5-minute cures, and you can see. I mean, I think the chamber versus the little bit extra helped. Now I will say that the first time I did it a little longer, I didn't break it up. So I did like a one full 6 or 8 minute something like that hit on it. And you have to be careful because if it is relatively thin, not a real thick piece, it will warp.
Yeah.
From the heat from the UV.
I had cured an item that was a little thin in my little box for way too long, probably like 2-3 hours, and it did make it really brittle.
Yeah,
and I do mean really brittle, and I did not know that because I was like, I'm gonna step away for a little bit. I'm gonna go do some things, watch me some anime, watch me something. I left it in the box. I forgot about it, went back to get it, and then I moved it around and it snapped on me. I'm like, what? Right. So, yeah, don't leave it very long. 5-10 minutes is probably best.
What I did with this one to keep from having too much exposure at one time, I hit it 5 minutes and I gave it 3 minutes of sit time. And then I hit it again another 5 minutes. And I hadn't had any warpage on anything that I've done, no matter how thick or thin it's been so far doing it that way.
Now I have I won't show the entire thing, but I have printed things like this, and there's some parts I do want to keep a little flexible, like this part that I'm bending right now. I want to keep that flexible.
Right.
Because it's such a thin and very, very easy to break spot, and I don't want to break it along the way, or little tassels down underneath here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it can move around. And I wish there was a way to, like, hey, I want to keep the one part flexible. I want to keep it as the day it came off the print, flexible.
The only way to really do that is if it's broken into parts and you cure them individually.
Yeah, like I've tried tape with no luck. Like I tried taping off areas and other prints just to see, like, okay, maybe if I tape all of it off and make sure no UV light get to it and yeah, it didn't work.
I have an idea for you. Next time, instead of tape, take some aluminum foil and put it with the shiny side out around the item that you want to keep from being cured, and it'll reflect the UV lights.
Okay, I got some aluminum foil I could try out. But yeah, I do want to keep some spots flexible on it, just so I can have that comfort, and also it's just little thin spots, really too thick. Like I've always said before, I like figurines that do have a little bit of flex to them, just a little bit, just so if they do, for whatever reason, fall, they won't just shatter. Because I've had figurines just shatter on the like a 2-inch fall.
Right.
And that's ridiculous to me. So yeah, that's
you got going.
I have. Okay, so not a lot of mine has been really taught about it, but I was printing this, and I saw a video online about a guy taught about. I'm sure you maybe know about it. You know about Warhammer?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever played Warhammer?
No, I have not, but I know somebody that's just joined our Genshin community.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I can, I'll send you his UID, and you can send it to him. He's the guy I was telling you about that.
Yeah.
That was going to play with us.
Yes. So if he was here, he would pretty much tell us how much just getting into Warhammer 40K costs. Like, this is one of the most expensive games, and it's a board game. Okay? It's a board game. You play this with your friends, you play this with your colleagues, you play this with people in tournaments or whatever, but it's a board game where you buy a bunch of, you guessed it, figurines.
Yep.
And little landmarks and so on and so on. Okay?
Yep.
And what is 3D printing really, really known for right now?
Figurines and Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it is a collector's paradise of figurine device, and it costs you a one-time buy practically, you always forget about the filament or the resin, but practically a one-time buy, right? And
Yep.
some of the stuff in 4K, 40K costs up to, and if not sometimes more than a 3D printer by itself.
Yep.
And they're big things, right? Big chunks of plastic.
Yep.
Okay? So, at Warhammer, they have a rule that you cannot have any unofficial 40K figurines while playing the game. You're not allowed to. Maybe at your house with your friends, sure. But out in the public or in a store that sells it or in a tournament, you're not allowed at any point. We're talking about resin molds of figurines. We're talking about kit bashing. You know what kit bashing is?
Yes.
Okay, kit bashing, for those who do not understand it, is when you take a bunch of parts from other things and you bash it together to make an object. Legos is a good idea, but it's more like Legos of other kits of, like, say, Gundams or, let's say, Warhammer or anything that's plastic that you can snip off parts and glue it to another part and make some out of it. Or 3D printing. Now, if you do own one, and let's say you got into 40K, and you wanted to print out parts parts for you to start to play this game, wouldn't you see it as a good or bad for fans that are maybe not into the game just yet?
Right.
Give them the opportunity to be able to enter the game world by printing out their own stuff.
I feel like it's like this. I get they're wanting to keep the corner because that's how they're making their money.
Mhm.
I mean, I get people trying to make a livelihood, but at the same time, you can't. It's hard for me to get behind someone telling me what to do with the device that I purchased.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
When,
kind of see both sides of it. Honestly, I probably would never be in like a tournament or anything. If I played it, it would probably be here at the house or with some friends or something. So it wouldn't really matter to me.
yeah, but apparently this guy has gone to stores, right? And gone to stores where they sell the items or they sell the Warhammer stuff. And of course D&D is all about it, right? D&D,
Yeah.
D&D's gone like, we don't care if it's your character. Like, we even have websites you can make your own character and print that character. And then they're like full on, let's get it if you want
Yeah,
to
I
get
mean,
it.
well,
for
even Destiny, they're not a board game or anything, but even Destiny has a site where you could go out there and get the models for the guns and stuff that they make for the characters. You want to print one, slap it on your wall, just come here and search for what you're looking for. Here's your model.
Yeah, okay, so that's what I talk about. I want to get to a little later on. But this guy has apparently went to other stores and tried to do that, and like just stores. They're not tournaments. You're not making money off of it. But like they go there with 3D printed what's the word for it? Not the figurines, but like terrain.
Yeah.
And they get stuff for that. They get crap for that. I'm like, why would that be such a downfall or pitfall to let people get into this thing? Now, you brought up the point, the Destiny thing, and I think that's where they should go at it. At least Warhammer, any board game. And of course, D&D's already went there. Warhammer, why can they not go there? And what I'm saying here is, let's say there is usually a 16 scale figurine Warhammer, model out there, right?
Right.
And it costs up to 140, 150 bucks. Let's just put it out there for a random amount estimates. I don't know how much they really cost, but I'm putting it out there. Why not put that online as a digital file or a STL or OBJ online to be purchased, and then tag a little bit of money on it so you have the rights to print it. So you're not losing out on the market for those that wish to print it at home.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. And I don't see why they can't do that either. other than they're just being greedy.
Mm-hmm. So
I
they
mean,
might have already done it already, but as far as I'm aware, as of this moment, they have not. And I don't think, okay, when technology advances, so does we as humans, right?
yep,
When technology gets better, we adapt that technology to seek our needs. Hindrance is only those who do not accept the technology and move with the times. So, if the times are going from buying the figurines from stores and then buy them either not painted or painted, bringing them home, unboxing them, putting them together, and then painting them, if the times are moving from that, which stores pretty much are almost going the way of the dinosaur, almost. I can barely find very much anything that's out of town anymore. But that's just a personal problem. But if I were to say I start a business where my business is purely predicated on the idea of figurines and all this glory, and make sure those figurines get into people's hands, I would start it off with the predication of, okay, how does people make figurines nowadays? How do people get their hands on it? And what's the technology that is commercialized to
right.
get it out to them? And then,
Well, it's like that discussion we've had before. I told you, even if I made the greatest model in the world, the Pokeball Light model we talked about turned into being the greatest thing everybody wanted one, I don't want to print it for everybody.
mm,
I will put the file up there and you can buy it for $5-10 and print it yourself if you got a printer. I don't have a problem with that.
mm-hmm.
But why do I want to sit here and turn my hobby, which is me printing stuff for myself or for my family,
Yeah.
into my job? And I really don't want to do that. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't mind teaching a couple of classes with some people, occasionally. Hey, this is how you get into it. This is how you get started. These are a couple of things to look out for. I'm fine with that. But as far as sitting here day in and day out, printing someone else always something and making sure I've got to keep up with, I got to get it done by this time. I got to get it shipped by this time. It's got to be shipped at this speed. It's got to, the address has got to be correct. Let me keep up with the invoice. I don't want to do all that.
Okay. There was okay. There's literally had somebody like I might have brought this up before. There is a guy that actually does have a business that solely relies on 3D printing. He does modifications for Nerf guns, and he has that one CR10 printer that has a belt on it, right? So
Yep.
it moves while the bed is moving. He literally has one. He has like 5 of those. He showed like a video of it online where he has like 5 of them on the wall, and they constantly are printing, constantly, 24 hours a day, and all the parts are going down. And when they get to the part where the lip of the bed curves and the print pops off, it falls into a bucket below it, and the next one comes down, and like they're printing back to back to back to back to back parts for these Nerf guns modifications, and then letting them fall down into it.
I gotta go.
Love you. So I feel like that to me, I'm not really involved with it too much because he has employees, so he has employees that are taking care of the prints while he's manufacturing and designing and making stuff for this Nerf guns while his employee deals with the hassle and trouble that comes with 3D printing of any type. So that would be like if you were to yourself ever go into business and you would need a 3D printer, I would just be like, man, if you're at the point where you're making money, I would hire someone else to deal with the hassle, so you can keep on enjoying the side of 3D printing and not having the side of the frustration come so often that you just kill it with passion.
Watching this cast, don't be fooled. Just because you hear us talk about it and how much we love it and how much we have fun with it, it is not easy. It is not.
Yeah,
it is definitely, there is a learning curve to it. Crap is going to happen at any time. I mean, just look at me. I've been waiting 2 weeks now for a part, all because I messed up with a pin prick in something. It's headache, it's heartache. You're going to have failures. You're going to have all kind of crazy crap happen. But the thing is if it's something that you genuinely enjoy, you're willing to put up with it to push through it.
Okay, I will bring this up. I'm trying to figure out. Cause I'm toying with our 3D CAD slicer of ours that you and I both use now.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out, like, there is a setting in there where it shows the depth. I'm sorry to put it like this, but this is the part that connects to the 3D print, and this is the 3D print that shows it how far it goes in and out of the model. So I'm backed it up to like 0.2 or 0.02. You can't go lower than that for some reason because it has to connect to the thing and connection. So I'm trying to fool with it, like how big the diameter of the thick of the tube, and maybe like if it doesn't mean wide, does it have a little ball at the end? I'm toying around with it to try to figure a way of getting rid of the whole problem of the little tiny little dots all over it.
Yeah. I've been messing with that too, and the closest I have come is you have to use the thinnest possible support,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to use the one that does that goes to nil is basically what they call it, to nothing as the tip, and it gives you the smallest dot possible. I've not figured out how to completely get it to where it just pops off and it's nice. And
It might be just part of the 3D slicing CAD. We might just switch it because honestly, I didn't get very much on this one, but there was still a little bit on there, and I sanded it down. It was really easy because once it's fresh off the print, this stuff is super easy to sand, super easy.
yeah,
But as soon as you cure it, a little more hassle. Not a
yeah.
lot, but still hassle. Which my mom, if you are watching this, I got Tinkerbell. I just got to print it out. My mom loves Tinkerbell. Loves it.
Oh, I will tell you that I know I mentioned this before. I don't know if you remember it, but I got something called sanding pencils.
Oh yeah, the little
They're little plastic ones. They go from pencil diameter to nothing on one end. Yeah, but mine are round, and the sanding stuff goes all the way around it. It coats the entire thing.
Okay.
So on one end, it goes down to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other end, it's got kind of like a slant like this.
Yeah.
So you use this end and hold it like this to sand flat. You use the other end that has nil to get into the tiny places, and the round pencil part. So like, let's say you got a cape or a cloak or something like that, and you got a pock mark just where it does the wave at.
Yeah.
You can lay it on its side and just rotate that pencil in a circle, and it'll take it right on out of there.
Okay, so is it like technical sandpaper, or is it like a? Cause this is like a stone.
No, this is they basically what they've done is taken a plastic dowel and made it into the shape they want it. You know, round, goes to nothing on one end with a slant on the other, and then they have sprayed it with like a grit of some kind, a sanding grit. And it's just stuck onto the thing. When you sand, and eventually, you know, it'll all wear off of it.
Okay.
But I mean, they don't cost hardly anything. What was it, babe? The sanding pencils. About how much did they cost for the pack?
For a pack of 6?
Yeah, they're like $1 a pencil.
Okay.
So I mean, you use it until there's nothing. Yeah, but it's in my bag over there, put up.
Okay.
Yeah, the bag fell over by the vent here, so the bag fell by the vent over there. But anyway,
Really?
yeah, really.
I'll go get it. Oh, by the way, it fell by the vent. What? There's spiders over there.
Anyway, basically the grit will wear off, and you'll end up with like a smooth plastic dowel, and you can just throw it away at that point because it's like $1, and you get you can buy them in like a 6-pack. So we usually spend like $6 for a little pack.
If you hear me scream, it's his fault.
Grab quick. So what would be the first print you do when you finally get your printer?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm conflicted because I have a girl that's been waiting for a print for a while.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman's tiara.
Yep, and then on top of that, I haven't had a print in a while, so I'm trying to decide: do I push her back and make myself one, or am I a good guy and go ahead and do hers as soon as it gets here? Honestly, before I print anything serious, I've got to do a test print. So that's why I sent you that link, because I think the test print's going to be the Chocobo.
Chocobo. Okay, gotcha.
Just to make sure that it's functioning the way it should before I go and try to do Wonder Woman's tiara, or I try to do Jean or anything. Because I'm going to tell you, if my Jean doesn't come out right, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, I want to print her.
Okay?
I want to print her next out of the Genshin Impact, and then start working my way down the other ones. Which I did see someone did do our fangirl the other day. But also someone's already done the girl with the sword. I'm not good with names here. The god chick that pulls the sword from her.
Oh yeah, Ball.
Yeah, someone's already done a figurine for her. I haven't seen anybody do a little figurine for a little cute ninja squirrel girl though.
I thought I seen one the other day, but I don't remember where I seen it.
And I saw someone doing one for Noelle, but I didn't
the drawer right there.
I
Baby.
straight up
throw it in one of those drawers because I may be wrong and it.
So you made me stick my hands in a infested area.
Get some
Not
bug spray,
intentionally, sweetheart. Ow!
But I saw someone do Noelle, and I straight up told them I didn't like the Noelle's nose because they made their nose really pointy, and I didn't like it. Right, so did you ever get a chance to watch The Witcher on Netflix?
Yes, I did.
Okay, before we get to the conversation of Netflix, what you think?
Oh, brutal. From go. I mean, brutal. It's like, hi, this is The Witcher. Gore! You're like, what the hell just happened?
Like, there's nothing dangerous out here, sweetie. Shake!
Yeah. I mean, it's just Jesus.
It was.
I don't know how to feel about the villain though.
Yeah, like I said, the villain was.
I don't know how to feel about her because, like, I get how she feels, and the shit that happened to her. But at the same time, does she not see she's doing the exact same shit?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this shit happened to me and ruined my life. I'm not going to do that to anyone else. Kill them all.
Or let anyone else do it to anyone else, but I guess I can do it.
Yeah. You're kind of like, huh? Did it come again?
Yeah.
But I tell you, I think that, like, fight in the laboratory at the end of the illusion, that shit made me angry.
Yeah, it did too. I'm like what? She was almost a helpless bystander. Yeah, she may have been like, yeah, I'm friends with them or him or whatever, but still a bystander. And they're like, you know what?
Almost 80 years old.
Yeah, just like forget him. Like just forget him. Let him go. It's like your enemy was the Witchers. That's it. Your enemies weren't the other humans, the kids, the bystanders. No, it was the Witchers.
I will say that Vesemir was a bona fide badass.
Yes, he was, and I didn't know how much of a playboy he was.
I mean, that bitch would do everything from jump on dragons.
And I found that.
Cool. We need that. Hey guys, that's got to go in the box. Here you go. So, here's my sanding pencils. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, it definitely
it goes down there, and then on this end, it's like that.
Yeah.
And this whole thing is covered with sanding powder.
Okay.
So you can get into any little tiny area or sand any spot or roll it however you need to.
Mm-hmm.
They work fantastically.
It's okay, I won't buy you anymore.
Hey, don't talk ugly.
Oh, goodness gracious. I gotta get there and start doing a little bit more driving of this for this week, because I've been kind of lazy on driving because I've been wanting to work on this video and try to actually get back into it. But at the same time, Twitch isn't paying me enough to rely on that that often. So I gotta get driving so I can buy me a few things, because I gotta pay for a few things, gotta buy a few things.
Yeah, I come to a realization today that I need to I really need to start buying those drives for my NAS unit because I am vastly getting close to running out of storage space.
Yeah, would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean who doesn't need 32 terabytes of storage space?
At least it's not 100 terabytes, which makes it a petabyte, and who doesn't need a petabyte?
Right.
Of course, with files being so big they are nowadays, just for video games, almost for themselves by themselves. If you're into that hobby or into that whatever you want to call it, they're getting so dang big nowadays. Storage space is getting bigger and bigger and bigger to accommodate. So
Yep. Absolutely.
Hey, look, they sent mail to him again. It says Mrs. Casey Cox.
Casey, what?
Mrs. Casey.
Okay, I thought I heard something else. I'm like,
Yeah, my last name is Cox.
oh, okay. I thought she said the other word that's very similar to.
It is. You might as well say it, honey. Cox, okay?
Okay, that's my brain went. What? I don't remember that. I would say everybody forget the name, so you don't go and search him up. But I guess cat's out of the kennel right at this point.
It says Mrs.
And honestly,
He's a female.
and honestly, well, I mean, come on, baby.
Gorgeous.
I wear the pants in the relationship.
Go suck on it. Anyway.
I do, and you like it.
Oh, wow. Anyway.
You don't want to keep walking into those doors.
That's some doors
No.
you like to walk into.
Anyway, I don't really care, honestly, because if you're brave enough to search me up and show up at my house, I'll feed you and then kick your ass out the door.
Might feed you lettuce, might feed you lead. Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity food critic. I mean,
all right, so Netflix is doing another live action show or movie. I'm not entirely sure, but another live action series, anime series in particular, and it's Cowboy Bebop. Have you looked into any of this?
I have. Oh, there is a lot of controversy about one character in particular.
Yes, okay, so are you a fan of Cowboy Bebop up front? Yes or no?
I'm not. I don't dislike it. It is not my favorite by no means, but I will watch it, and I have no problem watching it. I'll say that. Let's just put it like that. I'm not like, oh, it's great, but I'm not gonna go, oh, this is the worst thing ever either.
Okay, because I didn't like it when I'm younger, and I don't very much like it today, but I still definitely I can appreciate for what it is. Right? It's still a great anime. It's beautiful. It has a very interesting story. It is very, very choreographed, and the characters have some in depth to them. They're not just a two-dimensional character. There's a reason why all the characters do what they do in the show, and they make sure you know that. All that I didn't like about it is very episodic. When I mean episodic, each episode is pretty much its own storyline, and maybe every now and then they'll throw in the main storyline a little bit in there at a time. Just a little bit, not like a lot, but just a little bit. But every now and then they actually go back to the main story and actually continue on. I like stories that continue on with the story in some way. Always connect it to the story, not just just go out there, morning, wake up, do your thing, beat the bad guy, go to bed that evening. Like that to me is episodic. It's its own story. It could be its own show in one episode.
Yeah.
But anyways, so there's a lot of controversy, but of course there's controversy all around the whole live action in general. Just in general, there's a controversy behind it. And I've watched a video this past week that really summed it up to me quite well. Americans, when they do live action anime controversy or whatever movies or TV shows, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful, but it's not accurate. But when Japanese do it, it's accurate, but it doesn't look that good. CGI is a little off. The acting is a little par. And overall, it doesn't like have that quality that the show, show creators have made out
So
to
what
be.
you're saying? So what you're saying is we need to take the Japanese actors, bring them to the U.S., give them that budget, and we're good. We're gelling.
Good. We're good.
We're gelling.
Just put them together. I'm not
Yes.
saying like don't do no. And again, I don't really care about the whole whitewashing. I personally don't care as
I
long
don't care.
as the acting is good and it
Right.
meets the person or the character
Well,
that they're portraying.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you look at animes in general, here's a great example. Black Clover.
Mm,
Okay, you can look at Black Clover. They're not all Asian.
not all, no.
No, not at all. I mean, you got all walks of life, walks of life that could be shot here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
We're the breadbasket, baby. We got everything.
Yeah.
We got actors from every nationality. We could shoot that live action in this country with our budgets and our tech, and it would look fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't go over there and get some of the good Asian actors, that can play the Asian parts and bring them over to do them. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying don't bitch because it was an Asian concept, and we put an English guy playing an English guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's in the anime as a white English noble.
Yeah.
But, oh no, it was made in Asia. He's supposed to be Asian. Where the hell does it say that? It says it. Read the subtitles.
Yeah.
I am from blah blah blah.
Or outside the country or from another nation.
I'm from Norway. I'm from Sweden. He says he's from another place. For shit's sake.
Or they say they're an alien, and then how you ever get that role going on? That's not gonna happen.
At that point, it doesn't matter the nationality. We're gonna change what the hell he looks like anyway.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's like saying, okay, a white dude can't play Piccolo. He's green. Who the hell knows that he's he's fucking green.
I would say if somebody did play Piccolo and truly play Piccolo, I think, from a personal standpoint, Piccolo reminds me more like a brother than
a Dwayne the Rock Johnson brother.
Yeah, like if a brother,
I can be serious and I'll rip your freaking arm off and beat you to death with it.
Yeah, like he has the snarky attitude as a brother. So
and I can see. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole now, boy, because I got ideas upon ideas about that damn show being live action.
Okay, so the main female in the show, that's where the controversy mostly lies into. I'm sure you've already found out.
There's that, and there's also that one male character that they're blowing up about too.
Yeah, and but some people are having a misconception on the female side of it, and of course they're all like saying, of course she says in the show what her ethnicity is. Like pure as day, she is from Hokkaido, I believe. Like pure as day, I'm from Hokkaido. When you think of Hokkaido, what do you think? Of Asian descent of some sort. Does that mean it has to be Japanese? Does that mean to be Chinese? It needs to be Asian descent, but Hokkaido is in Japan. So she does say that up front. So some people have that little whitewashing issue. But the issue really lied for that character is how much they diverse from the character that the show portrays. Now the show portrays the character. For everybody that's not watched the show here, she is a bounty hunter herself. She lost her memory. She's trying to get. She's in large debt now. She's a bit of a gambler, but she uses her sex appeal as a diversion to do things that she normally wouldn't be able to do. So she'd, let's say, be able to talk to men that she normally wouldn't be able to talk to, or distract them with whatever they're looking at while her hands is doing the magic. So she knows what she's about and how to distract men, right? She knows how to intimidate or tempt them into vulnerable situations where she can get what she wants. And she wears clothes that are a little bit loose in certain areas and a little tight in other areas. And this show went and took all that away. All of it. And the actor went on to Twitter and kind of sarcastically got back at the people that are complaining. Now there is a few on there complaining, a very small group complaining about her boobs not being big enough and her waist not being small enough. Right? Like that's a body thing. You can't very much help that. You're born with the body you're with, right? It's either A, you get the body of the person that you want to match character, or B, you get a good actor. What would you rather?
Yeah, I would like to have an actor that's gonna pull the part off.
Yeah. So she don't have a 2-inch waist. She don't have double D's, and she ain't like 6'2", 6'3" tall, right? She's like she can't match all the descriptions no matter what, but you can match the clothes at least, because that's what she was. She was a temptress. She was a woman out there using her natural feminine wiles to get what she wanted.
Yes.
But then she was saying like the clothes wouldn't be able to handle wouldn't be able to handle it. What about cosplayers that make clothes for a living? Like they said they couldn't make that clothes. I'm like, yeah, you could. Cosplayers do it all the time. But then somebody brought up an idea that it was very, very valid to me. What about pro wrestling? Those clothes those girls wear. Wear and tear on those clothes all the time.
Yep.
And they are athletes. And
yeah,
they're
they're running, they're jumping, they're slamming, they're grabbing, they're throwing.
And sometimes they're grabbing the clothes which the girls are wearing. And they ain't like, going yeet and oh shit. That's not happening. They make those clothes durable, but very close, not exactly to the clothes that the character was wearing in the show. But no, they went like she normally wears a khaki stockings. They took that away, black stockings, changed her boots, put a skirt on her instead of a shorts, took away her shirt, and the shirt was yellow in color, but that was it, and a big old leather jacket. All different from the original character. A lot of people blowing up about that. It's like, I'm still going to watch it myself just to see if it's good. Just to see if it's, they do a good job. But, that will pull me out of the immersives if I was a big fan of the show. And yes, I am entitled because I'm paying for Netflix. If I'm paying for something, and you make something, I want it to be what I view. But there was a writer that with the show that was pretty much told everybody, hey, I was part of the crew. I gave them my inputs, my thoughts. They had to take none of it. They did by obligation. They didn't take none of it. I told them what I thought. I told them how I felt about it. They didn't take none of it. Don't blame me if the show is terrible. And I feel for the guy. I would be okay. Let's say you would write a book, right? You write a book and you write everything about it, details to the minute. Somebody says, "Let me make a live action or a cartoon out of your show." How much leeway would you give them?
Well, there's gonna have to be some altercations going from page to screen. There's no doubt about that. I think my biggest thing would be they're not going to get any leeway in as far as the characters' personas. I wrote their personas that way. They're supposed to be that way. We're not going to have the badass chick that cuts someone's head off in the middle of the night turn into the lady that totes a teddy bear and is all cute and cuddly. No, we're not doing that shit at all. We will throw down. I will sue your ass into the next century. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to bitch if they go and say, I've got the person written as an Asian person, but the best actress for the job was a white girl. Okay, fine. I get that you're trying to find the person that can pull the character off the best. I'll let you slide with that. Okay? But she's still going to give off that persona. She's going to look that way, or else it's not happening.
Okay, so you said there was some controversy with the Mel one. I haven't looked into that one
Yeah,
myself.
I
so-
can't remember his name. It's the one. It's supposed to be the guy with the blue jacket.
It's not Nell. I'm thinking of Nell, but something. Spike. Spike.
Yes.
Okay, so what's going on with Spike?
So they're complaining about first his overall look, like the man playing the character
Yeah.
doesn't match Spike's charming suaveness of maleness he is.
Oh yeah,
know?
he's
'Cause
definitely
he's pretty much the girl you described earlier, but in male form. He's very suave, he's very debonair, he's very cunning. But when you look at this guy, that's not what you get. When you look at him, your first impression is it's a tiny Asian dude in a blue jacket with puffed up hair.
okay. So he's not very linky either. Like in the show,
Yeah,
he's very like skinny boy.
Yeah, he doesn't give that whole the feel that if he was to walk up to a woman in a bar and start talking to her all suave that she would take him serious.
Yeah. And
Whereas if Spike in the anime walks up to a girl in a bar, starts talking suave, she's paying attention.
yeah.
You know?
And
So
I don't know how tall he is in the show either, but when I think of Spike, I think of like a 6'4", 6'3", tall, skinny.
yeah, and when you look at the picture, if you just pull up the picture of the characters walking down the alley that they have posted,
Yeah.
he is literally one of the shortest people in the line.
That's almost comparably to the girl actor.
Hang on. Let me do this.
So okay, so he doesn't give off the look. So the look of the characters, I guess, a character expression. I don't know how his acting might. His acting might pull off the suaveness, right? Like he might pull us in. But when I watch a Rurouni Kenshin, that show, a live action, which if anybody out there is a live action hater and you don't like it, but you like anime, give a Rurouni Kenshin a try. The only problem with the Rurouni Kenshin is you can tell they're wearing wigs. And that is my only critique on the entire show. Like you
Okay. I'm gonna share with you real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Share screen.
It might be a little hard for me to show it to the viewers.
Yeah, it's not okay. Do you see it?
I see it, but the viewers can't.
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, let me see which one where are you?
I'll send you the link.
Okay. There you go. I pulled it down for now so people can see it, so don't worry about it. Yeah, okay. I know it's hard to pull out the anime look. I get that. I really do. I just find that they need a skinnier guy, like a more linky guy. A guy that's a little more.
I sent you the link. If you scroll down, if you open that page and scroll down a little more, you can see the three primary characters in a picture together.
Wait.
They're walking down an alley.
Wait, is the guy in the middle the retired policeman?
I believe so. Yes.
He's a brother?
Apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe, and no one can take this from me. I don't care what you think of me at all. I do believe in diversity. I do believe, and everybody should have a place in anything they seek out to be. But the character wasn't a brother. So it pulls me out of that immersion again.
Yep.
But no one's talking about that. Okay. I'm gonna still watch it because I hope he does a great job at the character. But it's gonna pull me out of the immersion. It's gonna be weird. I don't like people trying to meet the ABCs of things or shows. Like we gotta have, a person of ethics. We gotta have a person of other morals and other reasons and take all that stuff out. Just give me the show I want. Leave it alone. And if you
So-
want to make your own show with it, go right ahead.
I mean, it's like, for instance, I'll go to something that I know really well. You look at Harry Potter. When she wrote those books, she wrote those characters British, white, or Asian, or German, or whatever, right?
Yes.
But she caught so much flack for not having more Asians and more black kids in the film. She's like, that's not how I freaking wrote them.
Yeah, and also,
You want me to change my book, the one that everybody bought, that was bestseller for fucking ever, that you read knowing this person was this nationality. You want me to change the movie because, I want to see more of that color in the screen.
yeah, and I'm like, you gotta
The
realize
hell?
the time periods. Because, people always say, well, it's a different world. It's still a time period. If it's on a Earth-like place, it's a time period. Then you gotta realize the location of it. If you go to Germany, or you go to, let's say North Africa, you're either not gonna see a lot of what? A lot of brothers? You're not gonna see a lot of those. Or if you go to North Africa, where you're not gonna see a lot of white people. Or Asian. You're not gonna see a lot of them. If any. If any. But we as Americans, we see all ethnicities all the time because we're a melting pot. That's fine. But if you try to match the source with the location and the time period where it's designed around, you're not going to see very much of those at all. It's like going to Lord of the Rings, and that time period is always predicated around what century? The 9th century, the European century, the old century. It's very much predicated around that location. Though there is elves in it, but where you're not gonna sleep, you're not gonna see no brothers. You're not gonna see them because they're not in that area and all that time period. But people are trying to throw that in there because it meets a quota. I'm like, if I was a brother and I liked it, let's say Harry Potter, and I liked Harry Potter, and there wasn't a brother in there, I wouldn't be offended because I still liked it because apparently I did because I bought all the books or read all of them already. I'm gonna like the movie too.
Yeah.
So why am I worried about it now that it's in a movie form? That they didn't decide to go and change one character that I already predicated in my mind, that character being that ethnicity now has to be this ethnicity, so I can feel like I'm being represented. I that's his personal point. I believe you should have fair chances for play any role. Any actor should be able to play any role. But when you already had a pre-set design, you might say, it's kind of hard to pull people out of that. Like, if there's a book or a show or even a movie already out there, my mind's automatically going to see that person as that. And it's going to be stuck that way.
I mean, it'd be like, for argument's sake, it'd be like, okay, we've seen Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they do Black Widow too, but now we're going to replace the character that plays Black Widow with a sister.
I would be entirely pulled out. Entirely pulled out.
You would be very confused to begin with.
Oh, I don't know if you saw this. I'm not laughing. I'm just a very good point right here. Somebody drew a what if picture, apparently at Disney or at wherever, of a Black Panther was a blonde white guy. And people got furious.
It did.
And it was just a picture. And of what if Black Panther was a blonde white guy. And people got furious.
Yep.
But the moment people go and change to something else, like the police guy from a I don't know what ethnicity he was, but he wasn't a brother. That's all I know. It's a brother now.
I always thought he was more he was a little darker skinned.
Yeah.
But I thought he was more like Spanish descent.
Yeah.
And he's got more of that type of skin tone. He's got more of that look to me, like a big Spanish. I will Give me your taco that beat the shit out of you.
Or maybe, okay, because people always say, white, 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 and then I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? White, European, white, German, white, Irish, white, Scottish, white. There's a lot of whites at us, but no one ever just, really, puts that in a centralized race. But that's a different topic. I thought him as a more of a darker skinned Italian. For some reason. My brain just lit darker skinned Italian.
That would have worked. That would have most definitely worked.
But that would have checked the checkbox that no one wants to check anymore. I don't like checkboxes. Pure and simple. Checkboxes, get them out of here. Don't like it. But that's again my point on it. But I'm willing to give the show good. If the show is good, I will say it's good, and I will leave it at that, and it'll be its own little timeline, I guess you might say, right? It'd be its own little separate world and bubble, and I will take it for what it is if the show does good.
But I'm trying to get better at doing that, as my wife points out to me quite regularly. I have, and I was worse a while back, but I still have a bad habit of, this is what I knew it to be, this is what I think it should be. Mm-hmm. Instead of taking it for the fact that if you look at it outside of that context, okay, if you had never seen Cowboy Bebop as an anime or read a manga, and you just watched this show, would it have been enjoyable to you? If you take it like that and you did enjoy it, then yes, it's a good show. It might be in its own bubble, like you said, but it's a good show.
Yeah.
I'm trying personally, it is difficult to get better at doing that.
Yeah, and it's always a predication, but we promise we already have examples, so our examples are already embedded into our mind what it was.
Just like, we go to the extreme the other way. So my favorite book series up here about a dark drow.
Yeah.
That is not a white person. That is not an Asian. The closest thing you're going to get is a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If somebody plays that character and he's white, they better have some hella good makeup.
Yeah.
Because if not, I'm going to be pulled out of it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Take Wesley Snipes and throw some purple on his ass and let him be it. I'll believe that shit all day long. You take, Joe Blow Whitey off the street, throw some purple on him. I don't know that I'm going to believe it. It's not going to be dark enough.
Yeah, that's why I always try to tell myself, separate the person from the art. And that's what I'm trying to do when I look at this show. I'm trying to separate the actors and what they are portraying from the show. And I'm just going, okay, if I can just separate that she's not wearing the right clothes, he's not the right height and skinny enough, and he's a brother, just separate the actors and just focus on what they're portraying.
Are they doing a good job at portraying it?
Yeah.
If they are, then hell, I mean,
I'll enjoy it.
But
it's going to be hard.
Come on, we're never gonna get as lucky as we did with Witcher and get like get fucking Superman that just happens to be the perfect fucking Witcher.
Yeah.
No, he did not originally get it.
Yeah, I mean, originally they weren't gonna give him that role.
I know.
They told him no originally.
And he was the one fighting for it, predicating the idea for it.
They told him no originally, and then they did a bunch of interviews, and they were like, well, maybe we're just going to go back to this guy. And he's like, yes, I got it. And look, he's like, who? Now when I think of Geralt, he's the first fucking thing that pops into my mind.
Okay, for me, my second choice will have to be a younger version of Lord Raiden. That's my second thought. Like,
Christopher Lambert from the original Mortal Kombat. Oh hell yeah! I'd have paid money for that shit.
Now I don't know who the actor's gonna be for. I'm already forgetting his name, even though we just talked about The Witcher. And Vesemir. I still think the guy that played Luke from Star Wars would have been a great Vesemir.
Oh yeah. Shit. I know his name.
If anybody knows his name, put it down below. But I thought he would have been the key. Like, even he was on Twitter going, "If they want me, hit me up. I'm down for it." I'm like, please.
Well, I mean, he's also the Joker. I mean, he can go both ways.
Yeah, the dude has a great acting and on top of a great voice. He's
how many years did he do the voice for the Joker? I mean, shit. I mean, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
Yeah, like
That's his name.
I'm sure he can figure out how to do a voice that's for the suave but yet olding Witcher. It's not very hard, but they didn't get him, so I'm hoping the next actor. I don't know the person at all. I looked him up. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is
I hadn't
this?
seen that. What's his name?
I don't know his name. I don't know the guy. I've seen him, and they already showed pictures of him. I'm like, I don't know who he is. I don't know where he's from. I don't know how his acting is. He could be a great and stunning actor. I have no clue about him at all, so I'm hoping he plays the role good. Because, again, my mind is, like, cause I couldn't read the books, my mind is going out the video games, because I played all 3 of them, and my mind very much already has a very,
Oh, I know this guy.
very narrow view of what I want to see portrayed as him. Do you,
I know this guy.
where's he from? Because I have like no idea where he's
Hold
from.
on. Let me find. I can't. Let me give me just a second.
Your camera, one side of it is doing the
Oh,
Well, sometimes the camera does great, but sometimes it does that sometimes, chat. It's rare. It's happened to us between us on off stream or pre conversations before. You might have to turn it off, turn it
hold
back
on
on.
a minute.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to season 2, season 3. I heard there might be another season of The Mandalorian, but they're gonna cancel it afterwards, which I'm not very happy about because I actually like Mandalorian. Netflix, it's just stop messing with people's enjoyment, stop messing with people's things. Also Disney, stop doing that as well. Just let it be what it is. If it's doing good, doing great, leave it alone. Stop messing with the what's the word? Stop messing with the recipe. Stop messing with the what the preset. It's so much easier just to do how it was and then make something new out of it. Yeah,
Hold on.
for everybody's wondering, yes, he uses a GoPro as a web camera, and it does, as you can see, a very good job. Until something weird happens, weird like that. I would hate to be doing a live stream and that happens to me, because then I would be like really annoyed with it.
It don't usually do this. It's very rare when it does. Boom.
There we
Okay.
go.
Okay. Back to what I was saying. His name is. Where is his freaking name? Where the hell is his name at? Oh. What is his name? What is his name?
Camera might froze, so just a little FYI. If you can't find it soon, we can keep the conversation
Yeah.
rolling.
I mean, just go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay, so you were talking about y'all are doing. I kind of want to play through some of these, but a lip sync battle.
No, we started watching a show. Me and Jasmine, she brought it to my attention, called Lip Sync Battle, and oh my god, it has got to be some of the most hilarious shit I have ever seen in my life.
Is it where
Imagine all your big name stars like The Rock or Channing Tatum or any of them guys.
Yeah.
Now imagine them lip syncing stuff like Taylor Swift or Frozen.
I think I've seen some of this beforehand.
And dude, they go all out. Sometimes they dress up in costumes, and it is pretty freaking hilarious. I mean, they had Fluffy on there the other day.
Yeah.
You might have to explain that.
And dude, he come out in some freaking heels and a dress, and I
Yep.
mean, shaved face. He tripped me out.
I seen it, and yes, I know what you're talking about. To me, like shows like that, TV shows like that are like the movie stars or the stars of the world excuse to have a Friday night out to do some goofy shit, and they just record it.
I
Like,
watching them do goofy shit. It's hilarious.
yeah, but like no average J Joe could just go out and do that kind of show and be as successful, even though they're doing exactly the same thing.
This show was specifically designed for the superstars
Yeah.
to come out and do this.
It's just like Just Dance or that dance show, right? Like the dance show where the stars learn how to dance and they do a dance and then
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. The show they're talking about is Lip Sync. I think is that the name of the show you're talking about?
Lip Sync Battle.
Lip Sync Battle on online. We're talking about that, AJ. But we got
Chrissy Teigen and LL Cool J host it.
So we got Dancing with the Stars, we got Lip Sync Battle, we got the Masquerade singing one where stars dress in a costume and they sing on stage and they gotta figure out who it is. Like all these shows with these big names, it's like a way of just like for them to either come from old stars, like, hey, we're trying to get, I'm trying to get my name back out there. Let me do this weird show, and maybe my name will get back there again. We have to switch your camera, I see. And, just having a good time and having a little bit of a fun weekend or whatever. Because they mostly shoot that stuff, like, almost the entire season within one night. That's how they always design it. Like a little behind the scenes there. FYI, anytime you watch any live show, whatever, or not live show, any show like that, it's mostly done in one day. It is not done in like a whole year's. No, they do it in like almost like a weekend or one day, and that's it. So that disillusion is not real. But the fluffy one was pretty funny. You dressed pretty like a woman in high heels and everything, lip syncing another song. Yeah, it's great. I did like it, but it's definitely one of those things I feel like that's the only way it could be popular. If they didn't pull big names, I don't think they could do it. Even if they were funny or great people, whatever, it wouldn't work.
I just found it freaking hilarious. I mean, there's just something funny as shit for me to see The Rock singing "Shake It Off."
Yeah. And then,
that's.
And then you said you had a movie trivia or a movie
debate. Yeah.
debate.
Now, so at work, we have a group of people that pretty much go to break about the same time. And over the course of 9.5 years, we pretty much started running out of things to talk about.
Well, that's a long time. You pretty much know almost everything about your family other than just asking how your life.
We have started coming up with ways to have conversations, and one of them that we come up with is debates. Because a lot of our conversations sometimes will revolve around a movie series, a game series, a TV series, stuff like that. And there's always differing opinions. You know what I mean when it comes to movies or TVs and stuff like that. Well, yes. Oh my God, don't remind me. Anyway, it no longer exists on our drives anymore, just so you know. But we were talking the other day, and we did this once before. One of the girls out there wanted to have this big freaking debate about the Twilight movie series.
Because all the men on the table don't know everything about the Twilight.
Of course, all the guys at work, nobody of the guys wanted to participate in this debate. And so they're like, but it's not going to be right if there's not at least one guy. So, yes, I went home and forced myself over a weekend to marathon the Twilight movie series.
Marathon?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Yeah. The books were much better, just so you know. So then I go back to work, and we decided that we would do it one break session that morning. The women would give their side, In the break session that afternoon, the men would give their size, i.e., me.
Okay.
And we took a person that had not read the book or seen the movies, was an impartial judge, and we debated this shit.
Okay.
And the funny thing is I, even though I had not seen the movies prior to this, I destroyed them.
Probably because you had the most freshest of memory on it, because you just got
Well,
done
no,
watching
they went
it.
and watched it too. We all agreed to go home and watch it. They watched it as well. The problem is that they put too much of what they feel into it instead of what was actually on the screen.
Okay, real quick. Let me just say this, and I've heard this online, so I'm not the one that's spouting this stuff. A lot of people say women feel, men predicate on facts.
Well, hold on, because that may be true, but they agreed as well as we did. Because if we want to go that route, I have a lot of feelings about a lot of shows that I watch.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about facts. I mean, I feel like it's this way, and this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't just say it's just women. Because if somebody started downing on Dragon Ball Z, your feelings is going to come out.
Well, yeah.
So it's not just women that feel. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. And anyway, so we had the discussion. They were stuck in this. Well, it felt like she was this way, and I was like, it may feel that way. And you're allowing the way you felt to influence what you thought you were seeing.
You put yourself in that character.
I said, but think about the lines that were actually spoken and the events that were actually happening.
Yeah.
And by the end of the debate, I had them telling me I was right. Because I'm not lying. I mean, I'm telling you, you're telling me that this happened because of this. No, that's not why it happened. You interpreted it that way because you felt that is what led to it. But if you watched the movie, the events that actually caused it is this. You know?
Okay.
So, the next debate is gearing up to go.
What's that going to be?
The Annabelle series. The Conjuring 2, okay. Annabelle, creation of Annabelle's creation, The Nun, the whole Warren set.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yep, so I get to marathon those, which I'm extremely excited about because if anybody doesn't know this that's watching this, I'm a big horror / supernatural type fan. I love it. It's great. Horror movies and horror shows are my cartoons. Okay? I have a big problem with shiny fluffy things. Like My Little Pony literally gave me nightmares. But I can go and watch stuff like getting their heads cut off and go to sleep just fine. Okay? So I'm not saying that that's normal. I get, guys, that I know that's not normal. So I get it. But at the same time, that's just me. So for once, I'm excited for this. However, my wife probably won't talk to me the entire weekend and be in another room. But I am ready for this because I'm having a debate with a young lady that is also a very big horror aficionado, and she has her stance on things, and I have mine. Let's say it like that. And I anticipate this being a knockdown, drag out debate.
Okay, so I wanted to predicate on this thought real quick. You brought it there because you said the girls were feeling that that character was feeling a certain way, and you feel bad certain ways about certain things on the show, right?
Yep.
And some of the best characters in media in general are characters that you can see yourself inside of, and the character you most relate to.
I agree.
The character you can see yourself as. That's why a lot of people like Goku, let's say for Dragon Ball Z's sake, because he's a very simple-minded, kind of dumb, but simple-minded person right? That we can only cheer for, but he's so simple-minded that we can see ourselves in him and see that we know how he's thinking and what.
Right.
But
And
he
now,
may not be thinking that, but we are thinking what he's thinking.
don't misunderstand what I was saying by no means.
Mm.
If the movie genuinely made her feel that way, that's good because it means she enjoyed it, and that's what it was meant to do. I'm not discrediting that at all.
Yeah.
But for the purpose of the debate, if we're going to go on what actually was supposed to happen, you have to look at what's going on the screen and remove yourself from it, or else you're not doing yourself any service.
What was the book ever brought up into the facts of the movie, or was the movie predicated on itself?
Okay, so there was references of book versus movie.
Yeah.
And with any movie that was based on a book, there's always going to be discrepancies. Because Hollywood's great, but they can't make a movie 100% like the book. It just can't happen. For two reasons. One, cost, and two, time. Do you know how many movies they would have had to make just to make the Harry Potter book movies if they were going to make everything in the books happen? We would still have Harry Potter. Those kids would have to been replaced halfway through the movie series with other kids so that they could keep the right age groups. Okay? Not to mention, our technology can't make certain things happen like happens in a book or happens in an anime or happens in a manga. We can't do it. We're good. We're getting close.
Yeah.
But we can't do it yet. So some things have to be different. That being said, there are some things that shouldn't be accepted to be different, like a personality of a character. Okay, the personality of the character in the book should be the same as the personality of the character in the movie. Because the personality is not electronically generated. It's not necessarily predicated on what they say. Your personality is the vibe you give, the way you present yourself. Okay? So, to me, if the personality of this character is when he walks in the room, he gives you the feeling that he is going to beat the living out of you every time you see him, then the actor needs to try to walk in and give off that persona.
Yeah.
Okay? He doesn't need to walk in and just be like every other Joe in there. That is not, to me, that is a discrepancy from book to movie that is not okay.
That should almost pull your attention.
Right. So, yeah, there was some debates about that, and then somebody did the worst thing they could possibly do during a Twilight debate and bring up werewolves and animagus. That was terrible.
Animagus. Explain that one to me.
So anybody that has watched Harry Potter or read Harry Potter knows that in the magical world, an animagus is someone that can transform into an animal. A dog, per se, like Sirius Black. A werewolf is someone that changes, that is basically a hybrid when they change. Part man, part wolf. They're not necessarily bent over with a tail and ears like a dog with hair and running around going, hey Fluffy, hey Fluffy.
Yeah.
Okay? An animagus, on the other hand, when he genuinely transforms into the shape of a dog or a cat or a rat or anything else. So,
is that different
there's
from
been
a
a lot of
lichen?
debate whether the werewolves in Twilight were actually werewolves, because if you watch the movies, they're just giant wolves. They're not werewolves. You don't see a part man, part wolf creature. Okay, you see a giant freaking wolf. They turn into giant wolves. And you never want to drop that bomb in a debate with a Twilight person, because they will go round and round and round and round. Even if you show them proof of years and years and years of movie canon saying, in other movies that this is what this is and this is what this is, they will argue with you until you are out of breath.
Yeah, because people have. Okay, I found this out recently too. And again, not a very PG conversation, but I won't go into it. But a quick thing. some people have a different perspective on. I'll just say it. Some people have a different perspective on the definition of what sex is. Just
Yeah.
completely. Some people think sex could be the idea of sex, and some people, like myself, think of sex is
The act.
the act.
Right.
So some people have the idea of a werewolf, right? Where is in the word of wolf, so werewolf, two words put together. Where I would imagine would be in some of the where is the wolf, and but also the lichen, right? I know werewolves are lichens. That's where I think of werewolves, lichens, because that's the word I've
It
heard a
was
lot of.
called the lycanthrope virus.
Yeah. So, and then of course we got your version of a wolf, and there's an anime out there where all the humanoids that are supposed to be werewolves turn into big, large wolves. Pretty much.
Well, if you're talking about Wolf's Rain,
Yeah.
they never actually called them werewolves.
Yeah, but they're pretty much that. Yeah, you're true. But again, people have their different definition of what one thing is, and sometimes it's the idea over the concept, and people don't know always how to really distribute those two things into their own category, right? So if I were to say the word sex, my definition, their definition, would really both of them be one and the same in the same words? No. Kind of like the word of. That word.
I like to take the stance that if you go and look at Webster and look at where and anything, it means half man and half whatever the other thing is.
Yeah.
So in the literal translation, that would mean half man, half wolf.
Yeah.
That to me says that he's not going to look like just a giant big wolf. There's going to be man features in it. That is just me.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, their conception may be that he was a man that turned into a wolf. I can see that, but that is I'm a little more literal with my interpretation than that.
Yeah, and I think with the generations of our just as I guess a cultural thing, a cultural phenomenon, you almost may say, but a cultural change of worlds, and of course it's always changing, is the English language. It is always changing because someone out there feels like, this can also mean this, so therefore it is that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can't tell me that it doesn't change. I mean, look at the word ain't. When we were kids, we were told ain't is not a word. Now go look at the dictionary. Ain't is in the dictionary.
Yeah. And of course, we got the word up. I said but the word up, that can be used in 48 different ways. Just a word with two syllables, UP, can use in 48 different ways. That shows you that we cannot distribute a word that many times without having so many different variations, but we can't also use that same word or that same idea of that word and make a new word for it. We're not clever enough apparently to do that. Hanging up a phone, picking up a phone, saying what's up, what you up to. There's just so many ways of using the word up. It's ridiculous, but and then of course we always just slap that together and go, you know what? We don't need to make a new word for it. We just use the same word over, and even all of it means different and a different connotation or a different sentence. And I'm the one with dyslexia, so it's really annoying for me to deal with that. So, in the werewolves, it's two different things slapped into one when it needs to be their own word by themselves and have a pure way of defining itself to itself. So if I say lichen, people well, it's also werewolf. Okay, but what about the ones that turns into just wolves? Should have its own left separate word and be used at that time when it's needed.
Animagus.
Yeah.
And animagus, that's what they are. That was my point, was that there is a werewolf and an animagus, but their problem is they don't want to accept the word animagus.
Mm-hmm.
even though it means exactly what they want it to mean, they don't want to accept it because it's not werewolf. It doesn't sound cool.
Yeah. Now, did the show or the movie or the books or any of them call it werewolves at any time?
Yeah, they called them werewolves all the way through the whole thing.
So it's like that's to me, it's like somebody out there just going, "Oh look, I have just a big brain, but I don't know. I don't have a very big dictionary." It's like there's bigger words out there than the standard. I guess the word werewolf is more catchy, right? It's more.
I mean, you can go back as far as they used to be called skinwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was one of their first Native American names was a skinwalker.
That's crazy. Let's just think about the word skinwalker. I just think of somebody
Well,
like.
they were called skinwalkers because they shed their skin to become the werewolf.
Okay, that's kind of creepy, but kind of cool looking. Or in my head, I imagine what a skinwalker
Yeah, I mean
looked like.
they were literally called skinwalkers. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to describe them. Just it doesn't have to be werewolf. Just like honestly, when I see any werewolf, I don't think werewolf. If it's a manly looking wolf creature, I think lycanthrope.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I think because the lycanthrope virus. You know, just like there was when you look at the Los Veratu, they had their own genus of virus.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to call them Los Veratu. We're just going to call them vampires.
It's much catchier. It's a catchier name, I guess. Like whatever. It's like a movie star or like a movie, right? It's always good to have a very well known name in the movie because it's catchy, right? Like if you say, this movie stars Jim Carrey, it catches, right? It catches your attention. Is that his real name? I actually don't know. I think it is, but if you say someone else's name, it won't be as catchy. The movie is just as good, and the actor plays just as good of a job as them. But
well, yeah, I mean, I could hear this is a good example. This movie stars Keanu Reeves. Who the hell's not going to see that movie?
Yeah.
I mean, but you do the same movie, this guy does just as good, but this movie stars Joe Blow. Nobody, hang on, let me Google that. I'll think about it.
Yeah, I'll debate.
Whereas Keanu Reeves inspires, I'm getting the fuck out of this chair and going to the theater.
Yeah, but then you say a movie with vampires and werewolves. Are they really vampires? Are they really werewolves? Are you really matching the definition with the subject matter? Maybe not. But you caught my attention when you said werewolves and vampires.
Like I already have one of my debate points for my whole Annabelle thing just out of the gate. I dare somebody to tell me that doll is what Annabelle actually looked like. Because that is, Annabelle was not a China porcelain doll. She was a fucking Raggedy Ann doll.
Yep. So, yeah. And of course, my last thought on this one, the werewolf scene, of course, there's the different types of werewolves. You got the werewolves that can control themselves when they're werewolves. You got the werewolves that can't control themselves at all. And then you got the feral werewolf, which are like pretty much skinny, like they have like no brains to them at all.
Yeah, the emaciated, no eating, they've been starved.
Mm-hmm. Their weakened point, I guess you would say, but it's like get control. Then if I turn to a werewolf, I want to have control of myself. We get the feral version that just they have some consciences of the human side, but they just they're pretty much just want to hunt and kill. They never turn back to humans. And you got the ones that turn into werewolves, but they're emaciated. They have no consciences of themselves. They have no idea of themselves, and that's three different things right there. But all of them are werewolves. Scout's honor.
Yep.
So, yeah, the English language for someone like myself, personally, that has dyslexia, I don't bastardize the English language because I know there's more words than just, than what we commonly use. That's why I pride myself when I say, if you talk to me normally, you wouldn't dare think I have dyslexia. But you talk to me online, guarantee I'm going to misspell something or grammars that come about because of my misspelling, and you're going to be like lost in my, like, you're going to think I'm an idiot. You're going to think I'm an idiot. You're going to think I'm moronic. I'm dumbfounded. You know, you're gonna think of many things of me, but you won't dare say that otherwise. But that's why the English language is too vast, but it's also very precise. That's how I think
Yeah.
about it. Like there's many words to mean the same thing, but if you try to predicate yourself onto that very thing, you need to know what word you're saying and not just use whatever because it might not actually mean what you're thinking it's meaning.
Right. Well, see, I have the exact opposite effect on people. When I walk into the room, they see a big guy, long hair, tattoos everywhere. This guy doesn't have any education. He doesn't have a vocabulary. And then I use words like emaciated and distended and shit like that, and they're like, "Huh?"
Well, then they automatically predicate that to the idea of you have a because I've had this people argument with before, like college degrees. I'm like, when do you need to go to college to learn words? When you learn, when
Hell,
do you,
you can learn complicated phrasing and meaning by watching freaking movies.
yeah, you can learn things from other people. Like, okay, what's that word meaning? They use it in this context. Then I'll learn. Okay, it means in that context. I'll learn how to use it in my own context. It's not very hard to put that together. But if you use like the word dumb in the same sentence twice, and you can't think of another word other than the word dumb, that's a personal thing right there. I'm gonna call you out on it because there's more words than just that. You really try to really round off your sentence. Don't use the same word over and over and over again. Then you sound like an idiot. Just personally, I use the same word over and over again. I'm gonna start thinking that you are not a very bright person. You're very limited on your conscious and thinking.
All right.
But anyways, definitely gonna be playing some Genshin Impact after this stream. So I'm pretty sure. Have you gone through the story yourself?
I have not yet. I am my sole focus right now is to get certain characters to certain levels before I tackle that beast.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been doing a lot of with Stealthy's help. We've been doing a lot of grinding for EXP scrolls and things of that nature to get characters built up.
Well, that's easier said than done, Mom. We all know that we all have a predication or self consciousness with other things. When others think of something of yourself, you tend to be a little bit defensive because you know yourself, so therefore you want to defend your thoughts and like,
Yeah.
hey, this is who I really am. But it's so hard to communicate that to other people
That is very true.
that don't know anything about you, and of course also be able to communicate that with somebody that in a manner for which you are not comfortable or good at.
Right.
It's like,
I mean, I walk into a room to work with people that at work the first time they meet me, they instantly have a different perception of who I am, and it almost instantly puts you on the defensive to want to say, no, that's not who I am. This is who I am.
yeah, it's always easier said than done, and it's so hard. I would imagine like maybe when I get older, maybe it's Asian mom. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying. Maybe it's Asian. Maybe when I get older, I would just stop caring and start being even more of a care bear that I am right now. But as of right now, my consciousness is wrapped in myself. What was that? That was a bug, and I didn't like it on my mic, so I had to swat it off. So yeah, I don't like when people just immediately assume because of my when I talk to people online, most time I can talk to them is through a text form because not everything has a microphone to talk into it like Twitter. And when I have a conversation or debate about something, it's really hard to come across as an intelligible or an legible person when I'm having to type, and they automatically all they see is my typing, and they're like, "Wow, I can't understand a thing this guy's saying." Even if I took time and actually thought about the words, I could figure it out, or read between the lines, and then maybe he meant to say this word instead of that word. They don't do that. People don't take time for that. So they immediately assume and then evaluate and then re-put out there that this person's opinion is immediately wrong just because their spelling and grammar is terrible. I'm like,
Right.
that does not mean I'm wrong. Just means I'm unlegible. I'm not very easy to understand in a written form. But does not mean I am dumb. I am uneducated, and I'm unable to have a conversation with reasonable outcomes. No, they just assume that I'm going to be a dumb idiot moron that has nothing but to spew out but frustration, anger, and nonsense and ludicrousy. It's like that's not true at all. But that's Twitter in the handbag for you almost. But I would still get my opinions out there and get my thoughts there because I think telling the truth in any facet, even if it's a small truth, is better than just leaving it openly and leave discussion being only one-sided, right? It's just this. I don't think that's ever good for anything. One-sided discussions, terrible.
Right.
Anyways, so yeah, we'll call there. We'll go live in about an hour or so on Twitch. Twitch.tv/GrovyBear. I will be going live, play some Genshin Impact. Maybe doing a poll if I'm lucky. Maybe I get lucky and give me a hero. I don't know how many pulls I've done so far. And then, of course, give me something to eat, so I'll be eating before that. I don't know if my pets need to be taken out or anything like that. I can't do the print because I gotta record. Like I said, I got 3 more prints and I'll be done with the recording side of the printing for the video. And then after that, I will need to do a recording for my overall view or overall thoughts on all of them, my score of all of them, and which one should be the best resin to print out there with. So, if you want to check that out, keep tuned here on Grumpy Bee Gaming. I think about changing the name on pretty much a lot of things just to see, maybe get more diversity out there. But we'll see. Corvo, you have anything you want to talk about before we leave?
No.
Glad you got to tune in, DK. Let's see. Remember what I do not like. You see, what's that? It's hard to not look, but I get what you're saying. But you haven't hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to share it on all your social media. Share on your Facebook, your Twitter, Instagram if you can. I don't care if you have Parler. I don't care what you got. Please share it around. Hit that like button right now in the video. Go hit the like button. Share it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and opinions on any of the conversation. And if you'd like to catch us next time, we go live 5 o'clock Central PST here at Grumpy Bee Gaming every Wednesday. And of course, check out Stephanie of Jade on Twitch.tv/Jade and Corvo. It's all his social media and all my social media are down below. And as always, have a good day, have a good night, and have a good life. Much love, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. One.